All right.
Just trying to be in the
Welcome to On the Sideline. I'm your host, Jeff Holden, here with Big O, Coach Hearn, and a special guest. We'll introduce him in just a few minutes. He's our fourth for today. You guys will know him. You all voted for him to come on. And we're happy he's here. We'll start this episode just like all the other episodes. We'll talk about some awards and recognition. This is kind of going to be our last basketball, episode where we focus a lot on basketball. We're going to transition into the other sports. But to touch on awards and recognition for basketball, we want to say congratulations to the 4 teams that are from the 940 that went to the state tournament. You got the 2 teams we covered, which is the Nakona girls in 2A, went to state, ended up losing a nail biter, buzzer beater off the backboard.
Hell of a shot by that girl.
Yeah.
Great defense by
She was
Megan,
a freshman. The
by
girl who made the shot was a freshman.
Yeah, so
Martin Mills.
tough loss there against the perennial state qualifier, Martin Mills.
Mm-hmm.
We hated it, but like I told Megan, just going to give her something to strive for next year, to keep your focus on. Also, the Holiday Boys, they ended up losing to Ponder in the semifinal round. That was a tough loss for them. Of course, we were rooting for them. The 2 teams from 940 we didn't cover that we are going to extend our coverage to soon is the Newcastle girls, who ended up winning state with Maddie Dollar, who, by the way, I watched those games. First time I got to watch her actually play live.
She's the real deal.
She is the real deal.
Yeah.
She is special. Being coached by Dad/coach Brian Dollar, I think Brian Dollar. So good job to Newcastle. Congratulations on the state championship. In 1A, we also have the 1A Benjamin Mustangs that went and ended up losing in the state championship game as well. Tough game. They lost to Jayton. Mm-hmm. That's Jayton's first championship.
Yeah.
But would have been Benjamin's, I think, first state championship too.
In basketball, yes.
In basketball. So.
Yeah, and Jayton's a perennial 6-man football team, powerhouse. So to see them on that stage, like you said, first state championship, they got some athletes out there. But hats off to Rigdon and the rest of the Mustangs on a hell of a year. And to all our basketball teams that were able to compete in the state championship.
I didn't get a chance to look, but it's a note for myself to go back and look. I want to say Benjamin put them out in football, and then Jayton was able to get them back.
Oh, dang!
In basketball, so I'm gonna go back and look.
Interesting.
At that.
Yeah.
So they got
that would be
back.
They got you back, huh?
1-1. Yeah. So next year will be exciting for that. Again, I messaged that Grayson kid and told him, hey, it didn't turn out the way it is, but you got something to strive for next year. Coming up just short. So congratulations to all those kids, all the coaches, all the families. That's pretty awesome that we had 4 teams go to the state tournament. Mm-hmm. We also had a couple teams just a little shy to the state tournament. So, 940 basketball is pretty impressive.
It's been doing real good.
And for us to be our first time to actually cover, I think we picked a good sport and a good time to cover. So that's pretty awesome. We'll move on to the awards or recognition really for softball. We had a bunch of no-hitters recently and perfect games. Kirsten Bernard from Henrietta, she threw a no-hitter. And then just a game or 2 later, she ended up throwing a perfect game.
Jeez. And
reached her 500K strikeout milestone.
That's ridiculous.
And we talked briefly about that. Like, how do we compare 500Ks to basketball? Like, basketball, your milestones are 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. Yeah. Like, I feel like that compares to, 2,000 points, 1,500 to 2,000 points. Because that's a lot of strikeouts.
500Ks is hard.
I know, that's crazy.
Especially in softball.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a total of 27 max, right? No, they only play 7 innings, right?
Yeah.
So 21 max
21
a game.
outs, yeah.
That's crazy. And she got 500. Jaylee Lowe from Harold, perfect game, pitched. Congratulations on that. Remy Buchanan from Electra. She pitched 2 perfect games in 2 straight days.
She real deal.
That's great. And I touched a little bit, and I tell people about this because this is awesome to me, like to be able to do that. And there are the people that are like, well, who'd she play? But I like to say, like, turn that around and just think like she still had to pitch over the plate consistently the whole game. She still had to strike batters out. The defense still had to play a little bit of defense, So when you say stuff like that, like don't try to take it away from the kids because that's still hard work. You still got to do it. I mean, that's like, I don't know what you can even compare a perfect game to in another sport.
Yeah, but baseball and softball, it's real hard to get a perfect game. That's why you see it on ESPN. They make a huge big deal whenever it happens because you can luck up and hit a baseball, and hit a softball just by putting your bat out there. So just being able to be crafty and I've learned over the years in softball, I didn't realize there's things called high and low pitches. They actually have curveballs. And I'm like, how do you do that from it's not,
I don't.
It's just hard. It's to throw the softball with the different movement that they have. I think to me personally, nothing against the guys, I think it takes more of a craft to do that than it is to throw a baseball with movement because of the way it's being delivered. It's an underhand delivery versus overhand. So kudos to the girls that are doing good in that.
Yeah, and let's not forget the boys. I mean, and we don't have a whole lot coming in from baseball yet, but Cooper Turner from Holiday just pitched a no-hitter, I think yesterday, maybe I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, it was on Monday.
Good job to him, man. No-hitters and perfect games are crazy because like you said, I mean, anybody could accidentally hit one up the middle or accidentally hit, it on the line out in left field, so that's pretty awesome. We'll move on to announcements, important, like mark your calendar type dates. We have 2 of them, June 8th for the Basketball All-Star Game. Hopefully our guest here will be at that. And then April 22nd, which is a Monday, we're going to look to have Coach Evan Hearn with his recruitment seminar. So we tried to decide on what age group that would be for, and I think we kind of just decided like anybody who's interested. Like, if you're in 6th grade and you're, I guess we're targeting the parents really. If little Johnny's in 6th grade and he's already told you he's gonna make basketball college. I mean, it won't hurt to come check it out.
No, and I mean the more that I can fill you in and the questions that you can have, questions from me, the answers you need from myself. The earlier you can get on, the better it'll be for you or somebody to help and get them out. Recruiting is all about promoting. Obviously, yes, you have to be good, but to answer all the questions and get the information you need, that'll be good. So any and all ages can come up, and parents obviously as well.
Yeah, for sure. And that's going to be, the location will be TBD. I think we got a location, but we just got to lock that in before we put that out. Sure. There'll be a flyer out as soon as possible, hopefully, for you guys on that as well. Another couple little things before we get into the main part of the show is I just wanted to say something about some of the things that we say or do on the show, or some things that we may not think is like politically correct. Just to let you know, like this is our show. We're gonna do what we want to do. Really, like that's what it boils down to. I hate to say it like that, but we want to be as free and as honest as we can be. So sometimes when we say one thing or another, like just try not to let it because we are, we're adults and we say stuff and then, we realize, oh, we shouldn't have said that. But sometimes you can't go back and fix that. So kind of just like take it with a grain of salt or let some of the things slide that might be said. Because we want to be honest, but we also need to be maintain our own personalities and stuff as well. So that's one thing we're going to really try to shoot for as more episodes come out, is we want to create our own personalities. Each person, instead of always trying to conform to one type of personality, we need to be our own selves. So a early or an apology ahead of time to say, to take back some of the things we may say or do. We're not here to offend anybody. We are, I guess it's kind of like an entertainment type business now with the podcast and everything, but hopefully by now some of you know that we're we're at this for the kids. Like the kids is the most important thing. If we say something about this or that, or it's just something that we said. It's
and one
not
thing,
something to
one
take to
thing will
heart.
be positive towards the kids. Obviously, that's the whole point of this show. But we're talking about games, and in games there's winners and losers, and there may be a time we're gonna say what you probably are saying in the stands that you're gonna hear
Or
from
that
us,
others are thinking.
or others are thinking. That team got the brakes beat off of them. That may come from us, and we're just here to tell the truth.
Yeah.
But we're in that sense, we're not degrading the kids. We're not gonna talk bad about kids. We just gonna tell it like it is, pretty much.
I think what it is constructive criticism. Being able to help kids navigate through things that are said, things that are brought up, and to continue to push forward. And I think the biggest thing is if you talk about things for children, hit it on the head, talk about it. It might be something that they're thinking themselves, but maybe mom, dad, or coach just didn't point out particular things for them to make them get themselves in check in certain areas. But I think these type of platforms help mold you not only for sports, but helps you develop you into being the young men and young ladies that they're going to be ultimately, because everybody's not going to always like you. And it's not that we don't like them, but it's going to be times that we have to be brutally honest about things to kind of help push things. Like if there's issues where a kid is just going crazy or doing this, these are the platforms where we can kind of reel them in without being disrespectful. Because the one thing is, I would hope on the show that we're keeping our integrity and being respectful in the same time of just shedding light on the things that are going on.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well said. And then another few little things. One thing for the Facebook page especially is we don't see everything on the Facebook page. I'm the one behind the actual Facebook page. I don't see everything. I don't get to share everything. So if there's something you think is worthy of being posted and shared and you want to help, that's our platform. We want to put everything out that we can for any of these kids. I don't want to see, hey, little Johnny kicked a rock across the street. We're not going to share that. Or, hey, Susie, she hit, 1 for 4, but it was a good hit down the left line. That might not get shared. Okay. But if Johnny goes 2 for 3 with a home run, send it to us. You know what I'm saying? So we want to share as much as we can, but I don't get to see everything. So the best way for that to happen is to share it on Facebook, tag us, send it in the message to the Sideline Sports 940 page, and I will do my best to try to share that. And I tell these guys that too. I get heckled by these guys for that, so it's the same thing for everybody. Another thing is we've got some heckling from, certain sports might be covered more than others. So how this works is we're 4 dudes. We don't have enough eyes. We don't have enough power to cover everything. So what we did was we went out and we found some people that were interested in helping us out with the different sports, which we call our gurus. Most of them don't want to be known, which is fine. But they're a group of people that have volunteered their time to piece together, knowledge that we can't gather or that we don't know of the different sports. So like, for example, right now, softball and baseball is going on. Well, our softball gurus are rocking it. Okay, the group text is going crazy all day long. They're doing a great job. And then the baseball gurus, they seem to be a little bit more laid back, So, again, we're basing our knowledge off of a panel or a group of, 6 to 7 people that have volunteered their time. So it's also hard for us to say, hey, I know you're doing this for us on your own time and you're not being paid or anything, but you need to pick it up. It's hard for us to say that. So just be patient with us. They're going to do a good job. We'll all eventually be doing a good job. Hopefully we'll get those other sports covered. Other than that.
That's a good question. So I'm happy you said that. So if there's anybody watching this episode that's interested in soccer, that's a sport that we didn't get to cover this year because we didn't have anybody step up. So hopefully moving forward, we can, find somebody that want to cover soccer and all of the other sports. We pretty much have our niche on this in this group of what we cover. But the soccer and the softball, baseball, golf,
Tennis.
powerlifting,
Powerlifting.
all of those sports. Go ahead.
Yeah. If we can get enough gurus, man, we can do it. Yeah. We just need help.
We don't want this to just be, look at as the main sports or just football, basketball. Like we the whole point of this show is for all athletes. It doesn't matter, I think for us at Ryder, we have swimming, and Wichita Falls ISD has swimming. So things like that, that only thing I know about swimming is Michael Phelps, so I just
he's from Baltimore.
Yeah, knowledgeable. We want to shed light on everybody.
Yes.
It isn't just the quote unquote major sports. We want to show these kids and be able to applaud them for their success.
For sure. Okay, so we got that covered. That was the longest intro. Luckily, our guest here has been super patient. I've been looking at him for a few minutes, and he seems really bored. So let's just go ahead and introduce our most voted on participant, our first ever male athlete to On the Sideline. You guys say hello to Mr. William Jordan II.
What's up?
Yeah. Woo! All right, man. So I will go over this long list of accolades that you have here, and then we will continue the show. So thanks again for being on the show from us here On the Sideline. Like I said, you're the most voted on. You saw all the votes. I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
You had a lot of votes, man. That's pretty awesome for people to come and pull together and vote you on. And like I told these guys, I've been a fan since the beginning of the year, or actually last year when I really got to take a look at you. And we're just glad you're here, man. Glad that you're the first one on the show. So
thank you.
Accolades for Mr. William Jordan II. He goes by Bub. We'll be calling him Bub for this episode. As a freshman, first team All-District. Sophomore, first team All-District. All-State Tournament, second team. All-State Tournament, second team. So that was the year you guys went to the state tournament. So that's pretty awesome. As a junior, Fantasy of Lights MVP, Allen In-N-Out Tournament MVP, District MVP, and All-Region team. So that's pretty impressive as well. And then a senior this year, you were the Children's Tournament All-Tournament team, Offensive District MVP, All-Region Tournament team. You're also a member of the National Honor Society. You've maintained a 3.67 GPA and AB honor roll throughout your entire high school career. Currently have all A's on your report card. First all-academic team freshman through your junior year. We're expecting your senior year as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It hasn't come out yet.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. That's a pretty impressive resume and accolades there for you as a basketball player and as a student, man. Go ahead and just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a 17 senior, only child, and I've been playing basketball for a long time, something that I do. That's really it.
Yeah. All right. Very good. So we did this a little bit differently with our other guests, but we're going to just include you on the entire show. I mean, I know you've been sitting there for 15 minutes bored out of your mind, but we got you on. William Jordan II, Bub. We're going to jump straight into our topic, which is the state tournament that just passed for both the girls and the boys this last weekend. Some controversy happened, a lot of crazy finishes to some of the games, but you actually got to participate in the state tournament a couple years back. Do you want to just kind of tell us what all that experience was about?
It was really like a cool experience, something I'll never feel again. So I hope everybody experiences, but playing pretty much in front of everybody, like TVs, everybody's really watching you in Texas. It was just something cool to be a part of.
Yeah. And you did pretty well to be part of the, to get an award there, even though you guys, lost out in the semifinals. But, man, what a great season you guys had. I mean, I remember watching it from afar.
It was a good year. Lost to a good team, Dallas Madison, and I think they lost to that team, but it could have went either way. I mean, it was a back and forth game. while we're talking about that and in your experience, I do have one question I want to ask you about this that we talked about last time. Do you think playing in the state tournament would be more meaningful if you played at a university versus at the Alamo Dome? Do you think the atmosphere would be more electric where people could be more on you versus playing in the dome that big?
I feel like it could, because that's where our next step is as athletes anyway, going to college.
Oh, very good point.
But yeah, I would have rather played at Texas or somewhere. But the dome was cool though. I love the
Yeah,
dome.
that's pretty cool. Very cool. Yeah, and I mean, like you said, you wish everybody could experience that. Obviously, not everybody gets to. You know, it's the elite teams that make it that far. So, again, congratulations to you and your teammates at that time. Of course, we fast forward to now your senior year, and like you said, you're not going to get to experience that again. But it's not over. You know, you still got a lot of stuff that can happen. We'll touch on some of the things that came up in the state tournament, like we had some buzzer beater controversy. We had some behavior controversy. But I think the biggest thing to take away from the state tournament was the slow play that they allow people to continue to do. And, you know, everybody's calling for it, everybody's pushing for it. Like, what do we do about a shot clock in high school basketball?
And I know, like, it's funny, all those three things kind of happened with the area schools where I'm from, back in the Panhandle. But it happened with Canyon Lady Eagles, and I think La Vega was who they were playing. And then it happened with Amarillo High and Lancaster. Yeah. And like I said, the two teams from the area I'm from, the other two teams, La Vega and Lancaster, they were holding the ball. And I just feel like whether you stall or tactic, I just feel like, you know, when you get to that point, your team is probably pretty good.
You gotta hoop.
You know, you gotta hope that. I mean, I've coached and I've been a part of teams where we've done some different things, but that's been in a regular season game. You would think when you get to that point, your team is really good, but you know, how boring is it for the fans? You know, the kids get there, the fans get there, and they're having to sit and watch teams hold the ball for 2 minutes.
The crazy thing that I saw, and I don't know if this was in Texas or not, but there was a state tournament game where, again, no shot clock, and the score at the end of the first quarter was like 8-2.
Yeah,
I seen somebody hold it for the whole first quarter.
Yeah,
really, yeah, I saw that too. I think, but I mean, it's like, oh, I got a 6-point lead. Let's just sit and hold the ball at the top corner. And of course, it's like you said, man, let them play. Like,
and I don't remember. I think it was 6-2, maybe 8-2 of the Amarillo High boys game at the end of the first quarter. But
that could have been
at halftime. It was 13-6, and I mean, that was Amarillo High, which they did shoot the ball bad. I think they were like 1 for 11 in the first half. But I mean, 13-6. That's not what you pay your money for. I don't think.
I think what happened in that, I agree with you guys on that, but I also think Lancaster coach was, I wouldn't have did it, but I think he went in with a game plan that probably knew that he didn't have the capacity to get up and down the court with Amarillo. So he was like, by any means necessary. Like, you know, he just felt like we got the lead, you know what I'm saying? But I also, even though that was going on, I would say this too. We're talking about as Lancaster what they did. But for me, the Amarillo coach should have at least, I mean, he didn't even get up on them to even try. He kind of allowed them to sit back and
I know that was just as bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
so,
that's pretty much just as bad when you're the opposing coach. And, I mean, put them in a man, pressure up, let's go. You know, like, but I think that it just allows them to do that because we don't have a shot clock.
And you can force the issue, you know, like you said, that was Lancaster's tactic and, you know, Amarillo High, you could have forced the issue. Well, now you get into the position of now I'm giving up layups. And if we're playing from behind, and that's what they're constantly, their motive is to hold the ball. Like I said, Amarillo, it wasn't like Amarillo High wasn't getting shots off. They were 1 for 11 from 3-point range. So I don't know what they were in the second. So things just can fall for them. But now they're behind, and now they're having to press the issue. Now they're giving up layups behind them. And so then it becomes now the lead becomes bigger and bigger and bigger because, you know, Lancaster is going to hold it. But, you know, it's just one of them things where we talked about shot clock and when does it happen. I thought maybe the state tournament because you do have, you know, you're playing where those electronic things are there, you know, but you guys did mention a good point of well, it's a state game, and now those kids are having to play under more pressure because now they're having a shot clock to deal with. So I don't know. The state of Texas has to do something because people are paying good money coming in from a long ways, kids as well, and that I don't know. That to me, this is the only sport where that can happen.
And it's just there's so many factors. You think, from our standpoint, it's like, oh, let's just put a shot clock, no worries.
Yeah.
But you're talking about thousands of dollars equipment to add to the court.
Mm-hmm.
Another referee who has to have some kind of special training to learn how to do this per game. All those things come into factor. But it's like in our chat, Jay mentioned, what about 4A or 3A and above? And definitely at the state level, you think that they could do that. The only problem with, like you said, if you just let them not be on shot clock all season and then throw them into the tournament, and now you're on shot clock, like that's going to mess up a whole lot of things. Like you said, and the pressure from doing that, the new pressure on coaches, new pressure on players. I mean, Bub, you in your career, you've played a lot of games where teams have wasted time or done that kind of technique. What do you think? Like what?
I feel like a shot clock should be in there, but just because I like to play, and I played with it in the summer at AAU, and it was like a whole different ball game. Like we're getting up and down. It's just fast paced. It's fun. Like y'all said, fans didn't travel to see their team hold the ball, but the players too. I'll kind of be looking at my coach on the sideline like, what are we doing? I came here to play, but it's definitely needed.
Yeah.
I think also you probably could the easiest way to probably transition to it is to make tournaments shot clock driven tournaments, because every team normally plays in a couple tournaments, kind of get the data that way to kind of see how those tournaments were, different things like that. And then after you transition from tournaments, go from tournament to district play, then district play to playoffs, because I was first going to start saying that you could start it right at the playoffs.
Yeah,
but that would be unfair.
Regionals or something.
That would be kind of unfair because you ain't never did it, and then you're in that situation.
But at the same time, is the factor that nobody's done it.
Nobody's done it. Yeah.
So it's a new thing. Like that's one way to look at it as well.
And I just thought about this right now as we were talking about this. We're wanting the shot clock at the state tournament. We're talking about, well, they haven't done it. They have not. Think about the state championship in football. What happens? Instant replay,
Yeah.
So it changes a lot. It changes the game. I mean, there's been calls in the state game where it's been changed. You think about the Duncanville, North Shore game. Like, the ref ruled it a touchdown, but they called it and they saw it. And there's, like I said, there's been interceptions and fumbles that's been overturned.
Well, and we also have an example in the state tournament where that team, it was 0.3 seconds left on the clock. The kid comes down. Did you see this, Bub?
Yeah,
came down, new home, and caught he didn't really catch it. It kind of went through his hands, and he kind of just flipped it up there. Ended up making it. Plenty of time left on the clock, but they waved it off. They reversed the whole call. Gave the advancement to what was the team? They went on and ended up winning the whole state championship.
Yeah.
But it was because of a rule that says you can only tip it, you can't catch it. But he didn't even possess it like a catch. It was a bad fumble, and I don't know, man. It's just we can sit back, hindsight 2020, and be like, oh, it should have been done this way, should have been done that way. But
we just a couple of guys.
Shot clock though. Shot clock, man. That needs to be something we can figure out.
The shot clock's been on the UIL agenda. I want to say the last 4 sessions that they've had. So I can see probably in the next. Especially after what we just experienced with the Amarillo and Langston.
It got bad.
Yeah, and it's going to be big school first.
Yeah. So I can see it actually trickling down and happening in the next couple. Not next
Maybe
year.
start at the top A, 6A, 5A, something like that. But hey, again, we'll talk all day. But we got to get a break, get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back in just a minute. The realtor we trust is Kim Roark, given to others with love. Kim was raised in this community and has been selflessly serving for over 20 years. Kim encourages everyone to thrive in their purpose. Kim is part of the Homes for Heroes program, where she gives back a portion of her commissions from each closing to all military, firefighters, law enforcement, healthcare, and educators who use her services. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Kim is the realtor for you. Go check out the website, homesforheroes.com. Since starting from scratch in 2020 by longtime resident of Clay County, Bob Belcher, Duck Creek Disposal has quickly become one of the most trusted waste disposal service and dumpster rental companies serving the 940 community and the surrounding areas. Local to the core, they take immense pride in being a part of the Wichita Falls community. Duck Creek Disposal's deep roots mean that every customer is treated like a neighbor. Their promise is to guarantee the best customer experience in the area, and they live by it. Whether you're a homeowner, contractor, or business, they tailored their services to suit varied requirements. Bob's hands-on approach and belief in personal connection means that when you call Duck Creek Disposal, you're experiencing a standard of service that Bob himself envisioned. You talk to real people, not a machine. Go give Bob a call at 940-257-5660. Serving the 940 community for 12 years, Allegiance Electric and Controls is the trusted go-to for commercial and industrial electrical solutions. Contact them for reliable, tailored services to keep your operations running smoothly. Please call or visit their website at aecllc.com. For all your paving and concrete needs, we trust Freeman Paving, LLC. Located in Vernon, Texas, Freeman Paving is our recommended business for concrete, paving, and dirt work. They have over 20 years of experience working right here in our community. Next time you need any concrete work, give them a call, 940-552-9496. If you're looking to treat yourself to a delicious dessert, then Yogurt Journey is the place to be. Yogurt Journey offers 12 delicious flavors of frozen yogurt with over 60 topping options. If you want something warm instead, stop by to enjoy an amazing funnel cake, fried Oreos, fried brownies, or fried candy. Yogurt Journey also offers frozen yogurt rolls, waffle frozen yogurt rolls, and smoothies. If you need a cake for your next celebration, Yojo provides custom frozen yogurt cakes. Yogurt Journey is located on Kemp Street across from Barwise Middle School and is open daily from 12 to 9 p.m. For all your roofing related needs, we choose Assured Roofing and Construction. At Assured Roofing and Construction, their hard work is based off honesty, loyalty, and integrity, ensuring that every customer gets what they deserve and is happy and stress-free throughout the entire process. When any storm damage occurs to your roof, gutters, fencing, or siding, Assured will have you covered and help you from the initial free inspection to filing your claim, meeting with adjusters, and getting your damaged property fixed properly. Give AG a call at 940-782-1194. All right. Welcome back. After the commercial break, we are here with William Bub Jordan II, who I gave the nickname WJII.
Yeah, I like that.
Have you seen that?
I seen that.
Yeah.
I like
Your dad said he liked it too. I was like, all right. He gets famous, you know. Patton. No, all right. So what we'll do now, we'll just go around the room. I'll ask a question. Oh, Evan. And then just whatever you got to say, man. Like, just hit us with it. And then, you know, this is for you. We want to let everybody know about you. So just go with it. I'll start with the first question is, at what point do you think you realized that basketball was like your sport?
I would say I started when I was 4 or 5. And that year we was terrible. We was really terrible. And then that next year, I told my dad, I was like, nah, I can't deal with this losing. So that's when I figured out playing over that summer got better. That something I can enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's crazy.
Awesome.
It's crazy you say that. I was just
I've seen the pictures, by
I
the
was
way,
just
when
watching
you
a
go
video when they was 4 and 5. I told his dad because Bubs didn't know what he was doing, but he was doing a Euro before Euro was popular. It was just a natural thing that he was doing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, kids be traveling and all that, but he had a concept of how to take big steps and get there, and he was animated. Bro, I looked at that video. Bubs was like animated in the word. But yeah, it was like just his development, seeing that video and just like concept, it was good. So I do have a question for you, Bubs. One of my questions for you would be, I'm just gonna ask my famous question. What's your favorite pregame meal? You know I gotta ask about the
Pre-game
food.
meal. If I can't get out or go get nothing, it'll probably be like a peanut butter sandwich and Uncrustable. But this year I really enjoyed Cordoba, that little Mexican place. Yeah.
Nice.
I had my best nights when I ate that.
Yeah, that
Oh,
bad
dang.
boy.
That's banging.
If I was a coach, I'd be getting it every time. Get that
For sure.
Cadoba in here.
We got to
and
get it
really
what
go.
you want, for sure. I want to commend you because you wore goggles. I also wore goggles, but I just want to say that real quick.
That's what's up.
So I got to see you as a sophomore when Ryder played you guys at City View. So just watching you as a sophomore up until now, I just want to ask you, how did you mature watching or being under the Witten twins? Like, what did you find from them that you used for your game, or what did they help you with?
I would say I matured under Jordan and Vernon
Mm-hmm.
the year before.
Okay.
'Cause I've been playing with the twins since we was little.
Oh, gotcha.
But watching them play is like sometimes you gotta be just willing to score.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about trying to win. I love the twins, but they wasn't passing that rock. But I don't blame them. I don't blame them at all.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, that is what it is, you know? Like I said earlier, when I was talking to you before the show, it's like, man, it just looked like you could just score so easily.
Mm-hmm.
I know coaches want you to pass the ball, but man, when you can do it like you do it, man, it's like just go.
Yeah.
But I think just to piggyback off that real quick before y'all get into the next question, I think you could that what you just said, you know, they wasn't passing the rock. I think that develops you to be more of a pass first guy to get your teammates involved. So
Exactly.
so it's that's one of the things that I mean you learn from maybe a shortcoming that they had being more I ain't gonna say selfish player, but more score first player, and it developed you into being more of a, you know, I mean, sometimes I might like be like, "Bub, come on, man, don't do it like that." But I think that developed the skill set in itself. You know,
Helped his all around game.
Yeah,
for
Yeah,
sure.
you learn a lot of things not being the ball. You mean you can learn off the ball stuff, moving without the ball. I mean, that's just as important of having the ball sometimes. Like being able to move, being able to read everything without the ball in your hands. I mean, you hear coaches and people talk about that all the time, like how important that is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's all worked together, obviously, and done a pretty good job to make you what you are right now. So hell of a basketball player. So I mean, obviously something happened or you learned some way, you know, even though you may not have thought, oh, hey, I wish they would have passed the ball, but you were still learning. Yeah. You were still doing your thing. So
Might have been a crutch, as we say, because sometimes now we be like, "Bub, shoot that thing,
Yeah,
man."
yeah.
I think we've been on the show several times when we said, "Man, it's been nights where we be like, he passed that bad boy."
He gotta go.
Especially when he cooking.
Yeah.
I'm like, he cooking right now. He in the grease, on fire, and then he still. But that's what you call a selfless basketball player. So that's kudos to you on that for sure. We don't want to knock you from your ability of being a great team player.
yeah. My next question is, what are your strengths and weaknesses on the court, like from your own
I'll
standpoint?
start with weakness. I feel like I have the ability to lay back sometimes. So, like, we'll be up 10, 15. I'm cruising because we winning. But I know what I'm capable of. I can make this game where they can't catch up at all, and I'll lay back sometimes.
And that allows them to stay in the
That
game.
allows us to stay in the game.
Get a little lazy,
Yeah.
right? I mean, hey, everybody does it. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Everybody in anything you do, you have a tendency to do that. So that's not bad. What about your strengths?
Strengths is just my knowledge of the game, my IQ. I've understood it, defenses, offenses, where the hole is. I just feel like that's something I'm good at.
Yeah.
I know where to be. I know how to win on or off the ball.
I agree.
So, one question I wanted to ask you is, how important has it been for you to help build City View basketball program into a staple name?
It's very important to me because when I growing up, I've always known City View as like school nobody really cared about until I got there, and I'm like, whoa, y'all talking about my school. But building it up my first year and going to regional quarterfinals, 3 rounds deep, then going to state, and then leading us to the regional tournaments 2 years in a row, I feel like, I don't know, I feel proud. I love the view.
One thing I want to say about that is you know, it doesn't get talked about. I don't know all of the history of Wichita Falls, but I will say that you can be considered in one of the top kids and just not City View as far as leading your team to consecutive regional tournaments. That's from your sophomore, junior, and your senior year. And and freshman year you fell short to Brock, Brock was a powerhouse of a team, and Brock went on and went that year to state. You know, they had that one kid that's I want to say he's at Minnesota. He's a freakish tight end. He plays tight end, which is his true strength. He was just humongous. He looked like literally something off of like a monster or something. He was a big kid. Yeah. But I think that's one thing I wanted to, you know, I'm happy you said that you were able to turn City View into a team that teams around here now respect in the basketball
For sure.
area for sure.
Yeah. So I can just build off of what you said into my next question. So that was really good. Is, you know, you had these great players around you, or y'all were a great team. You know, your freshman and sophomore year, you know, you got to be able to fill in and find your role, and those guys leave. And so what was it like to step into the leadership role these last 2 years?
I feel like I was ready for it, stepping into it. Junior year was me and Kendrick. I had a little help.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, Dez picked it up because he knew he had to play a bigger role. But I feel like watching my seniors from freshman to sophomore year, I knew what it took to get us there.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. My next question is, what we talked about this briefly before we started, but like, what's your goals after high school? Obviously, you want to play college basketball. Any offers?
I have one from Allen Community College, but I've been talking to a couple D2s and small D1s.
Oh, nice. And again, we talked, so I know the answer, but are you playing any summer ball? What's your plans for right now, between now and you know, hopefully signing on to college?
Now I'm probably going to hit the camps hard, try to get some more exposure to my name, but I think I'm done with summer ball. Is it 18? I think I might be done, but definitely playing the camps.
Yeah, I don't know if it's 18 or unsigned seniors.
Yeah,
Can usually
that
play.
basketball and that baseball.
It gets confusing.
I'm like, oh, they just graduated, but they playing summer, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's just certain circuits and certain things that you can play on for that.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of that, I want to ask you, what's your best memory of basketball, whether it's high school basketball, little league basketball, or, I mean, even playing AAU?
I could go on and on about that. AAU, I'll say 2016 with Coach Jimmy, we went to the Super 60, which it was some talent there. We got second. High school,
Nice.
definitely playing in that state tournament. That was just something. But yeah, Little League, just playing with my dad, beating up on teams, YMCA ball. That's nothing.
For sure. Playing with your dad in YMCA ball, y'all's team name was Elite Dream, right?
Elite Dream.
I think to just give a little bit of backside on that with Elite Dream, it's funny that we talk about the twins. People talk about Jamarion and Curl. You talk about the Jacksons, the Kendrick Gibsons.
Yep.
All of these kids were on the same team. Jaleel played with
They
them.
were loaded.
Could you imagine?
I always tell them they had the cheat code.
Oh, yeah.
You had like everybody. And I think they were one of the first teams, OWE's doing it now, but I think Elite Dream was one of the first teams actually traveling, going to not just tournaments, but they actually playing in big tournaments where they're going to Vegas, doing that type of stuff. But that's a testament to show that when you do that, look at the results that those kids get. Because I believe, to me, all of those kids are at some point are doing good and have been great leaders on their basketball teams.
So, piggybacking off of that, who is your basketball inspiration, whether that's a player or a family member? And second to that is, who do you mirror your game after, or who does your game mirror after?
My inspiration comes from my family, and then mostly my dad, because he introduced me to the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I try to model my game really after like players like Kevin Durant, SGA, the real lanky guards.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fit the mold.
Yeah, very cool. My next question is, if I was a college scout, what do you bring to your new team as you transition into college? Like, what is it that you bring as a freshman to a new college team?
I feel like I obviously bring my talents, my IQs, but I also bring that competitiveness that want to win, the hunger, because I'm just not cool with losing, but I feel like that's what I bring.
So competitive nature, nice, very good. Oh,
okay.
All right, so I'm Coach J wasn't able to be here with us, so I'm going to ask one of his questions for you right now. He's at training and at practice. What's your favorite moment? I mean, not your favorite moment. What are the pros and cons of playing for your dad growing up?
The pros is that he was like my trainer. So like we doing stuff at home. We trained a lot at home. It was crazy. And then the cons to that is that we got into it a lot. I felt like it tainted up my relationship with my dad, but it's a lot more pros than cons, definitely.
So real quick, when you said at home, are you on the kitchen floor?
We was
you
on
in the
kitchen
driveway?
floor, the garage. We had a goal outside. We was everywhere in the backyard.
That's awesome. All right. So you got one, Evan?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So Coach Jackson, I think he's a pretty cool guy. Me and him at the gym. Shout out to him, 6 a.m. Planet Fitness. But tell us about Coach Jackson. How's he helped your game and as a young man?
Coach Jackson has helped my game. Really, I went from a coach, Coach Morris, who was all about offense. We didn't play defense. Mm-hmm. And with Coach Jackson, Coach P, that's big on defense, heavy on that. And then as a man, he wanted me to be accountable. Mm-hmm. So like that really stuck with me.
And I think as the leader of the team, as the leader of the team, a lot of weight falls on your shoulder, and you step up to the challenge. Obviously, you had a district foe in Keaton Bristow, and it was you and him going at it. And we can score the ball, but I got to stop you. And I think, like you said, I got to defense is a big part of the game. It's not just scoring. And I think you took that challenge on, and you did a great job. And Coach Jackson, like I said, he did a great job of instilling that in you.
Oh, you got one?
Yeah, I want to ask that question just to piggyback off of what he's talking about with the coaches. How do you think having 3 different coaches over the course of your 4 years have either positively impacted your career, or do you think that it negatively, not in a bad way, I hate to say negatively, but if you could have had the same coach, do you think that things would have kind of been more easy to transition than it was to having 3 different coaches for 3 different years?
3 coaches for 3 years. That helped me and my teammates because, it's different schemes, different philosophies, stuff like that. But the only reason I could say it negatively affected us is we had to switch it up every year. So we learning something new. And these teams, same coach, 4 years, they ready to compete. So we had to play catch up. But it was nothing we could have took.
Yeah, so you learn something on the back end.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, there is, obviously if you have one coach that you can stick with for longer, that's always seems like it's the best thing for you.
Sure, and it creates a bond. That's what we try to do as coaches is when you create a bond and a trust within your players, they may play harder for you. You know what I mean? And having to go through, like he said, 2 and 3 different coaches, your trustworthiness into that coach is a little shaky, but. Yep. Hats off to Coach Jackson.
And then I have my final question. To me, this is the big question for me to ask because I just really want to see, your take on it because, I know what the public says and different things about this, but this really speaks volume to the type of player you are. So the question is do you feel being a 6'5" guard on a team that you're the biggest takes away from your natural ability and skill set?
I would think it took some getting used to because, I come from summer, I'm playing with kids. They 6'8", 6'9", and I'm the shortest one on the team. But once I realized how I can be this 6'5" guard, it came pretty natural and easy. But that's about it, yeah.
Yeah, I think the reason I asked that is because, night in, night out, everybody's looking for you to just have to play guard, but it's night in and night out. You're having to get down there and bang with the bigs. Because if you don't do that, we probably not
ain't too many like it.
And let's be real, when you're 6'5" and the biggest one on the court, you got a target on your back. Like everybody wants to bang.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to get in your face. Everybody wants to, give you their best defense. So I'm sure that's difficult in itself, just trying to deal with that every night. Evan, you got any more questions?
Yeah. My last question is, obviously you mentioned defense, which I appreciate that because I couldn't score the ball like you could, so had to play defense. But when you were in that mode, and you're on fire, what is that feeling like when it don't matter what the team is throwing at me, the other team's throwing at me, this ball's going in? What's it like to be in that mode?
can't really describe it. It just happens. But like, I find myself getting there when I'm saying I'm laid back and I'm like, all right, no, I'm finna pick it up, and then it's just everything just comes natural and easy. I just do it without thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know.
When can you recall this season when a moment like that has happened for you?
We had some moments. The game at home versus Holiday, I was definitely in that mode. And then Peaster, we started off slow that game, real slow. And I picked it up and I ended up with 35. So like, it just came when I feel like it was time to pick it up. I picked it up.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good.
just riding this question out. What is your career high in high school, or sorry, in UIL and then on the circuits?
Career high, I think, is 36.
Okay.
UIL. And then the circuits, I don't know. I never checked the scoreboard.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, those things are so damn quick.
I hate.
You can't even get a
hate-
picture of the score sheet, nothing. Like I coach it and I can't even. They're like, oh, the book's already gone. It's like, oh,
in the
okay.
trash somewhere else. And don't ask me to keep score because I ain't doing it.
Right.
As much as these tournaments make, bro, they should have their own scorekeepers. Don't get me on that. We'll go off on that.
That'll be another topic.
You guys got any more questions? Because I got one more that I want to hit with him last.
No, I'm good.
I'm going to ask another one of Jay's questions just because he put him out there. He just wasn't here to ask him himself. I think, like we talked briefly about dad and coach being the same person. Like, how do you distinguish the difference between the two? Like, give us an example if you can think of one, like where it was like, oh, that's dad, oh, that's coach.
The way we had to do it was we had to leave coach at the gym and dad at home. Like, there was no in between. There was moments, well, not moments. He didn't let me call him dad at the gym, and then I couldn't. We kind of like separated basketball.
Okay, so anytime anything was related with basketball, it's coach.
It's coach.
That's good. That's smart. I mean, that's how it should be. And then we got one last question, which this was a controversial topic in itself. We touched on it, I think, last episode. First of all, you took the ball, went down court, a full court, reverse layup with your offhand, and made it at the buzzer to win the game. And then somebody has the audacity, I said,
Preach.
to try to take that from you or say, put an asterisk by it. So what, I mean, as the athlete, I'm sure you probably don't have too much to say about it, but I just want to know, like, being a local athlete and people are covering you and people, most people do a good job. We all try to do a good job to give you exposure, to congratulate you on things. But when you do something like that and then you see, I know you read the article, and you see something like that, it's like, man, is that like a punch in the gut? Like what? Like nobody knows your answer right now. So let us be the ones that show your answer. Like, how did that make you feel? And you don't have to be negative. I mean, tell us. Try not to. I don't want you to feel pressured to go one way or the other.
When I first read it, I was like, I'm gonna just start from the beginning. I never really got the recognition I really deserve from Times Record or anybody, but seeing that, I expected everybody to be happy for us. Like, we sounds like they're supporting Wall. I don't know where Wall is, but
I don't either. To be honest,
it kind of it just made me more hungry to, prove him wrong.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, it really didn't affect me no way.
Yeah,
I was just like, all right,
just kind of taken off guard, like.
Call me off guard.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I mean, I think it took everybody off guard, and it may not have been what he intended. He may have, the person who wrote the article may have been, had the way. Sometimes when you read stuff, it can be misinterpreted.
Yeah.
Like even text messages.
And that's
stuff
what
like
we
that.
talked about it ourselves, and that's how we opened up the show. What we say, it may not be how you interpret it. So, but there it was.
So let me while we're right there, this gives you an opportunity, and other kids out there, because you said something that was very powerful that we don't want to miss. That you felt as a kid from 940 that you wasn't properly covered. from the media. That's powerful, and honestly, I think I can't speak for other kids, but there could be other kids that feel like that, and how do we get it right is just from you being a young teenager, what can the media do better to help you guys feel supported by your community?
What can we do better?
There's really nothing y'all can do. Y'all can't be everywhere. But for the kids who feel like that, teenagers feel like that, it should motivate you. You should be working harder to get those news and guys like y'all out there to watch the games. So I just took it as motivation and worked on my craft.
It's good.
That's well answered. I mean,
It's that national scholar answer right there.
yeah. No, I mean, we know what happened, and like I said, we're not really bashing anybody. It just I want to go to the source for some things. Like I like going to the source, like even if that means reaching out, being uncomfortable on stuff. So for you to tell your answer that is going to clear up things, it's going to have people feeling a certain way or whatever. But ultimately, not just you and your teammates, but we expected a little bit different. Basically, that's the end of the story on that. But man, that concludes our show. Really, we want to say thank you for coming on the show.
For sure.
For being our first male athlete representing. We're a big fan of yours. We've been all year. Unfortunately, I don't think you play any other sports, so we can watch you, right?
Basketball.
That's it. So, but yeah, man, we wish you the best of luck. If there's anything we can do here, like I said, I got some clips of you. I still hope to piece something together to give you those. You can do whatever you want with them on your socials or whatever, but we want to help you get, whatever we can do. If there's anything we can do to help you get to your goal of reaching, to get to college, play basketball, like that's what we want to be able to be ultimately. So if you think of anything, your parents think of anything, let us know. We'll try to do whatever we can. I mean, that's what we want to do.
Basketball only. I know Coach Hawkins and Coach Aldrich. Was watching him walk the halls and was like, golly, because I would be.
Try to get me out there every year.
Hey,
Yeah,
do you want to be a
Buck used to
receiver? Come on, man.
He was a great
Thing.
football player too, man. It's just it's just a route he took.
Oh yeah.
So
For
it's
sure.
No, I can't knock him.
Yeah, it's one of those things. But like he said, we appreciate you being on this show. We're rooting for you. Just getting started. That's the blessing about basketball. Is the recruitment is really just now getting revved up. So the calls are gonna come. You're a humble kid. You're not a D1 or bust type kid. I want to put that on the podcast. This is a kid that enjoys playing the games, hard worker, wants to come and compete. So he's your 6'5".
Wants
so
to
he
win.
got the measurable. So there's a college out there watching this podcast. You need to go recruit.
He's here.
WJII. That's his new name. I like that.
WJII.
Yeah, recruit
Let's get it.
WJII.
Yeah, man. Again, thanks for being here on the sideline. We appreciate you, man, and best of luck
Thank you.
in everything you do.
Thank you.
Cool. We're good.
That's right.
GG's, bro. GG's.